Welcome to today's show. I'm excited that you downloaded this episode. Hi, I'm JJ Flazanes, and today is the first on-air live coaching session. Well, it's not live, meaning recorded while you're listening, but it was a on-air coaching session that did not get edited at all. From start to finish, we had a coaching session as I normally would conduct when people sign up to do either the starter pack or work with me on an ongoing basis. And the only way that I was really willing to give free sessions, because I've never done free sessions, was to be able to utilize the information to help other people. And that's what we did today. So we've got Johanna, who's on today's episode, and she is wanting to grow her business. So first I'm going to say, for those of you that maybe you don't have a business, there's a lot of lessons in here for everybody. In business, you have a better, sustainable, more solid foundation of growing a successful business for yourself when you grow yourself as a person too. There are countless stories of people who have made plenty of money but are terribly unhappy, depressed, anxious, can't seem to sustain a relationship, have awful relationships with their children, have health concerns. That's not the kind of business I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting it all. Mind, body, soul, spiritual, aligned, connected, life purpose driven businesses. And so if those of you that aren't in a business, the advice that I'm going to give Johanna today has a lot to do with her own self-confidence and purpose outside of her business. So I hope that you will stay and listen, because she is awesome and gives a lot of vulnerable stories, and there's even some health information in here for you to be inspired by. If you would like to win a free session like Johanna did, and you haven't heard me talk about it before on a previous show, you can go to winafreesession.com. And the rules just go that if you apply and you get accepted, you do need to buy a headset, a good USB mic if you don't already have one, and you can get one for like $30. And we're not using cell phones and earbuds. I mean, you might want to use an earbud, but the headset, I need clean audio. So winafreesession.com, you do have to buy that. And then also, I'm not going to edit really anything, because the whole point of this is to be vulnerable and real and to get some help from me. And we can't really do that. And to inspire the audience who's listening, because they may be going through the same things. So winafreesession.com is where you can register to do what Johanna's doing. And then if you are someone in business like Johanna, and you are someone who, when you start to hear me coach her and talk about working with me in depth and really tackling all of the issues that she brought up and really going deeper and, healing them, solving them, moving the needle on them, I actually have started doing business coaching. And you'll hear more about that in this session, but I can't take everybody, and I won't take everybody. I'm not the right fit for everybody. So to determine that, I've got a quiz, sort of like an assessment that you can fill out. It's not a quiz where you'll pass or fail. I'll just be able to tell if we're a match or not. And that lives at jjflazanes.com/biz coaching. So jjflazanes.com/biz coaching, BIZ coaching. And that's just to start the conversation and see if we're at all a fit for each other. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, and let me know what you think. Hi, Johanna.
Hello. Well, first I want to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity, because I do listen to your podcasts, and there's a lot of drop the mic moments that I have, and I'm always like, I got to listen to that podcast again and take notes, because I usually listen when I'm driving. So I'm very grateful for this experience and for your feedback in regards to my questions also.
Well, you are the first. This is the first on-air coaching session that I am doing. And so I appreciate you signing up and wanting to win this session. So I'm looking forward to what it is that we uncover today. First, let me ask you, what show do you listen to, just out of curiosity?
Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. I do go back to a few of the Fit to Love ones. I've gone back and listened to a few, but I found Spirit, Purpose, and Energy and was hooked. And then that's the one I mainly focus on, is that one.
Okay, good to know. And why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do, who you are, and then we're going to start going over some of the goals that you wrote on your sheet.
Okay. Well, my name's Johanna. I'm a holistic primal health coach. I'm also a Usui Reiki master. And I'm a wife and I'm a mother. Uh, Living that entrepreneurial life, but trying to figure out the balance of all that I do and maintaining that space to feel like I'm on the right path, but not discount other things in my life.
Okay. So you are a 100% entrepreneur?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. My husband has a full-time job, and so I do have flexibility. I would say my first role, or what it began as, is a stay-at-home mom, and house duties, I guess, because that's what we end up doing. But I had jobs in the past, very independent woman. And then things happened in my life that guided me into health coaching. I have done amazing things for myself because of things that happened in my health. And so then as a result, I got more and more into that path, became certified, and felt that that's the direction I wanted to go to. And, most of the time mainly is because when I feel we do something to help ourselves and we see results, like, you get excited and you want to share that with other people. And so I have been doing it as an entrepreneur, but man, is that tough. Because, finding the balance of hours, and no, you're your own team in the beginning. You're your marketing, you're your everything. So yeah, so 100%. However, full disclosure, like, my family isn't dependent on what I bring in. So there isn't that pressure, like, okay, if I don't meet these goals, then, like, my family doesn't thrive.
That's great because it gives you the flexibility to now we can all achieve the sense of freedom under any condition. It just gets harder when there's too many conditions that people are so used to clinging to that could influence their emotions. So I'm glad that you recognize that you have freedom basically in feeling a little bit of stability, because I do see that you're a Virgo, and so
Yeah.
that would be important for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I I gotta say there was some hesitancy, like, because I know you're so good with the astrological signs, and I was like, I'm more nervous than anything that because I'm a Virgo, she might be like, "Oh, I can't help this person." Because I completely understand in some of the things you said, like, I truly do almost not almost, I have manifested situations that were so painful, but it was like what has come from it. I have learned and grown, but would I want to experience that again? Absolutely not. But sometimes there's a certain level of, like, where it's almost a creation of something that occurs. And then it's like, oh, okay, I see now where I need to go. And I know you've shared some of those things, because there was one podcast you had said something about when you were getting ready to do one of your workshops, and you had said, well, if you're a Virgo, probably don't sign up, or you probably won't sign up. You'll probably just manifest, like, cancer or something. You said something, and I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awful. But I know you didn't mean it with ill intent. It was meant from a space of, like, how sometimes certain signs will almost just put so much pressure before they do learn something, versus, like, trying to work through it first before creating a possible situation.
I'm really glad to hear you say that, especially in light of getting some, negative reviews, because it means you can actually hear my heart and it's actually not Virgos, it's Virgo moon. So it's
Yeah.
really, it's in the emotional place. It didn't have to do with Virgo sun signs or Virgo rising signs. It had to do with Virgo moon signs. So I don't know
Yeah.
what your moon is. And so I'm not prejudiced to Virgos,
Yeah.
everyone. I was just saying there are some people that they like to give lip service to, like I'm there's that consciousness of I'm aware of what I need to do, but something about I'll never take action. I mean, I have clients after clients. I've got a handful of them that I've tried for years and years, every single tactic I could think of and create in order to get change. And none of them, they all manifest negative things before anything happens. So,
Right.
so it was really letting all of you Virgo moons off the hook if that is you. Now, it isn't everybody, but
Right.
and it's an overgeneralization, but it is kind of a letting you off the hook. So thank you for saying that,
Yeah.
because it helps me to remember that even though one person out of, at this point, 100, or one person out of 75 people don't get me and think and take and use their own triggers to decide to leave a negative review, that, that they don't understand me, because I know I question and I'm like, I know it's their stuff, but obviously there's enough of you, like you, who feel me and know that I'm not trying to be mean or curse you or anything like that.
Right.
It's just that acknowledging this is what could be. And if it is, like, so I'm laughing as you're telling me that you've experienced some negative things, not laughing at you, but, and that you're aware of it, because at some point, can we not, like, take it a little easier and kind of laugh about it, like, and say, well, here I am again, like,
Right.
I'm not taking the clue, so I guess this big thing is here to push me forward. Like, I think we can get a little lighter on some of those things when we recognize our patterns and behaviors. So hopefully, has any of that helped you since learning that?
It has. Well, I have been on this healing journey for quite some time and have had other healers and other people in my life that have tried to shed light on this perspective. And I think, you're ready to receive the information when you're ready to receive. And there's just been different moments in my life where it just didn't like connect. And then I think hearing you speak and a lot of what you've shared, it's like the girlfriend that you kind of want to have, like, to talk to, because like, you say stuff in a very confident but also in a very like matter of fact way that it's like, okay, you get it or you don't get it. Like, but it's not like, I don't know, you're the girlfriend I desire to have. Like, if when I want to talk through some stuff, because it's like, yes, we can come from the heart and we can also, let's just be honest about the situation here. So there have been things that you said where it's like, like I can see now some of the dots connecting from what others have told me. I just wasn't ready to receive or really kind of digest it. And then it's like, so there's some things you say, and then I'm like, like, I get it, but does it mean I've completely, like, like epiphany? Oh, now I'm without these situations. No, I have these situations, but there's an awareness. Now it's really the awareness, and now how to be in that awareness, and then how to now move forward or grow or learn from it without just trying to say, okay, here, let me dust this under the carpet until like pops up again, because I can see now there's patterns of what I'm doing at times.
Perfect. Well, that's the whole goal here.
Right.
I don't know if I think you are a part of the manifestation challenge, and I did a
Yes.
Facebook live today, and I was crying this morning, because my next growth opportunity is to, again, deepen my trust, because I've manifested being literally pushed out of this house, which is comforting, and it's a security for me, and it's a foundation for me that I really appreciate and love. And all of a sudden now I've manifested, if I want change, then I have to release some of these old energies, and it's time to move on and really trust. So each level really brings us all to the next step. So I want to utilize all that understanding and the growth that you have had and the awarenesses that you already have, and move into your goals. So when I do a consultation with someone, obviously I'm focused on what your top 3 goals are, and then how to figure out what you can do about it, or how it can help you, or how you can help yourself, or what's getting in the way. And so I have here that your top 3 goals are to, number 1, run a successful business, your holistic primal health coach. Number 2, to create a tribe or be part of a tribe. And 3 would be financial freedom. So, why don't you talk a little bit about these goals and what you want to focus on today?
Okay, well, they all kind of run in conjunction with each other, and kind of going backwards with creating the financial freedom. Um, Again, husband has a full-time job. He's doing amazing and fantastic, but we are also both college graduates, and as a result of some medical situations that have occurred in the past, we move forward. We do the Dave Ramsey plan in our budgeting. I don't know if that's something you've heard of, but we focus. And I also, with the manifestation and with law of attraction, focus energy in different directions too. But there's beauty in not having the weight of what is still owed. So part of where I feel I can connect and create is if in what I'm choosing as an entrepreneur is if I could become more successful, become more in alignment with my confidence with it so that it can be more fruitful. And then I know part of where I struggle is I don't have a connection other than healers, but you go to sessions and appointments with them, but like true, like tribe people, not just uh friends, but that like-minded space where it's not like everyone has to be paleo primal keto. I mean, it'd be fantastic because I honestly don't have friends within my network that follow the lifestyle that I do. And so within a tribe, it's like just kind of having more support and structure with other, primarily women. I love to have men as part of things as well too, but I could feel there's a feminine side that I really want to nurture more within that tribe, feeling that more support, that love, and that place where we all hold space for each other. It's just the creation and or even the manifestation. I think the universe has been showing me pieces of things because things have even this opportunity with this podcast because uh yes, we're not like BFFs after this and we're going to go hang out at the beach and, go do fun stuff. That'd be amazing. But the thing is I think the universe is showing me like there is a possibility with it. I just end up getting lost in it sometimes. And then of course, when you're feeling lost and then I'm trying to say, okay, where's my vibration with this? Which way should I speak? Because obviously when we start going negative or that doubt comes into play for me, I kind of crumble. Like I end up letting that negative self-talk or even anxiety and depressive moments become more aggressive when I start feeling like I don't know what I'm doing or that overwhelm. And so these are why these areas are of importance to me. Now, as a health coach, I do teach classes at our local rec center, and I put myself out there. However, once I do it and I put myself in that position, I love the creative part, what classes I'm creating, and I love the teaching part. But then there's that space in between, like who's going to sign up, who's going to be there. And then, I wholeheartedly believe in the lifestyle, uh, that, a holistic health lifestyle and certain foods that I really feel are just amazing for the body. And, you know, I'm supposed to be in a wheelchair, but I have proven that, because of my health choices, that isn't the path. So I feel so passionate about it and I teach. And then it's like, I feel like sometimes the information, some people, yeah, they're into it, other people not so much. And then I don't always know how to be okay with that. I can't I don't want to force it on somebody, but that like, it's like, but can't you just see it? Like, don't you just know? Like, and I don't always articulate it as well either. I'm not big on the science, but I understand the science of a lot of what is occurring with the choices we make. It just like, for me, I'm more like, it just works. I'm telling you, it's a mixture. It's mindset, it's choices, it's all of it. And so I want to be successful financially for myself, but additionally, like, be able to maintain that confidence that I am okay, that I am helping people as best as I can, and who I am as a person, that it's okay that I don't sound amazingly fantastic because I can't tell you the structure or break down the cholesterol profiles for you to, understand, but because I just know from experience and so forth. And so I get a bit out of sorts because I put myself out there. I teach things. I'm not always received with great numbers of attendees or even people who come back. And I have a lot of people that like me and say I'm nice and stuff, but, or like, oh, that's great information. But then it kind of just crickets. And then so I think, well, is this my path? Is this my journey? And is there a possibility for success with this? Because I know I'm carrying a certain level of doubt and insecurity, and I'm sure I'm attracting many of these situations because if I'm not okay with me and being able to just take it as it is and just keep going out there, then it's never going to matter exactly. So I feel like I'm starting to ramble, sorry, but I'm trying to get like a good idea of what I'm trying to say. This is part of my conflict with myself, is that I just go off and not always clear in what I'm trying to say.
So because it's this on-air session, and there isn't really time to go into a completely deeper dive, right? Like to do your astrology, and because you have some pretty good
Mhm.
goals here, I want to get the most out of this for you today. But I would recommend possibly
Mhm.
considering either, doing the astrology piece, because we can go a little bit deeper into, like you just said, I'm afraid that I'm rambling, and it's not that you're rambling. You're giving
Mhm.
me plenty of information. I have a couple questions for you. So, because I don't know what your moon is, your moon's how you deal with emotion, right? So we need to sort of
Mhm.
reel that in to see how do I handle emotion. So for me, my emotion is Sag. Like I deal with emotion in a Sag way. And what's the Sag? All about truth seeking, truth seeking, and sort of ethereal kind of things, like using spirituality and astrology and belief systems and education. I'm all about learning. Like when I don't know something, I employ finding out more about it, learning more. And I'm at an end point though with the learning. I've kind of feel like I'm
Mhm.
at a place where I have enough answers for pretty much everything I can think of, that I don't need to I'm saying I don't need to learn more. That's not what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? I'm not in search of. I'm not in this
Mhm.
like, oh, what's this next level for me? I've got so much information. I'm not even interested in things like Enneagram, because astrology does for me what other people get out of Enneagram. So while it's new and I don't know it, I'm not attracted to it. So that's why I haven't done a show on Enneagram. So back to you, because here's a couple things I'm
Mhm.
hearing. I'm hearing that you have a life story that has created your business. Yes, that your own
Yes.
health issues and recovery and thriving within some diagnosis that you have. You have multiple sclerosis, chronic Lyme disease, and what's this third one? Co-infections.
Yeah, well, many times with in conjunction with Lyme diseases, the co-infections, like I had heavy metals, mold toxicity, parasites. The test I had ran with the functional doctor, and so uh, when I had a Lyme flare a few years back, which paralyzed my left side, there was also the co-infections that were seen as well. So that's what that means. But that's like a long list to write. So it's just easier to write N co-infections, which many of them I'm still doing detoxing and some different strategies to help, because I think we're always exposed to many things. But I mean, I'm in good health now, but that's what the co-infections are.
Okay. So we're not going to be talking about any of the health things or healing on a deeper level or any of those kind of the emotional connection to the health things. We're not going to go there because you
Hmm.
want to talk about your business. So I want to ask, so you have thrived under, again, diagnosis that otherwise would tell you differently. And now you've built a business around it. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
When you went to build your business, how did you decide how you were going to build your business?
I went in naively, honestly, because I went under this idea of, okay, I'm going to get certified. I'm very knowledgeable already. I live this lifestyle 5+ years. However, we live kind of in a society to somewhat that there's this idea that, certification and, all these credentials. And plus, I enjoy getting more education. So I did a program and became certified, but then naively had this thought, even though my bachelor's degree is in business management, so you would think I would have thought a little more clearly about this, but naively thought, okay, I'm going to structure this I'm going to have like clients, and then I'm going to go out, market myself, get my website, do all these things, like all the pretty things. I mean, not to minimize, but like, I think sometimes when you're doing the business thing for the first time on your own, you think of like what your business card should look like, when honestly it's like not the biggest deal, at least in my experience from how I went about it. So I kind of went haphazardly, jumped off the cliff into the water just wildly, and then did not do okay. Like, I started teaching classes for free. I did a bunch of free stuff, and then I ended up just all my work for free. And then I didn't know how to be okay with, okay, Johanna, you have to start setting, prices. And then I felt like once I set the prices, and then it was like, one person in 2 years. So I'm gonna just. This is probably gonna be like you're probably gonna be like, Johanna, why are you so? But in this time that I have done this, other than my workshops and my cooking classes that I teach at the rec center, and in 2 years' time, I have had one paying client, and everything else I've done for free, because I did not have clear structure. I did not see the potential in my worth, and then my own nervousness and how I approach things. And then also to the level in which I put myself out there and what I do. Um, that's been my return, because I think I almost feel like if I offer this for free, even though I want to be successful, then then you can't be disappointed in me. You can't be upset if you didn't get results. When in truth, there is a certain level of self accountability every individual should have. So I know that there's some things I need to sort out for myself. However, to answer your question, I mean, I went into it just wildly, and I have yet to find a good balance. And I even hired myself my own life coach, and she helped me with structure. And then once I started getting a little bit more structure, I started getting anxiety really heavy, because now people were interested. So there's a certain level of sabotage I do on myself too, because of the worthiness. And then when I get into structure and someone gives me more guidance, it's almost like I don't know how to be with that space, because it feels like, again, as an entrepreneur and as a single individual, like it's a lot. It's a lot to do many of those things. So I have now focused my energy into the workshops and the cooking classes I do at our local rec center. And then I'm still trying to figure out, okay, doing this, and then like getting people, if you're interested, I have an opportunity for one-on-one. And that is what I'm doing. And I know my question is in regards to being a successful coach, but I do wonder sometimes, and since I can ask you this, since you're very educated in this area, is that if it isn't aligning and if it doesn't feel like right, is it possible that maybe this isn't the journey that I should be on, because vibrationally I can't seem to match up with it? And maybe I have to just be honest with myself and ask, like, is this truly what is going to make you successful? Is this truly going to be what you should be doing, not only for abundance for myself, but being able to give back and to really help others?
I love how aware you are, and you pretty much know what's going on to a certain level, right? And I will tell you and everyone listening who is either trying to do a side business or is an entrepreneur that there is nothing more confronting, besides me, right? Nothing more confronting to your own self growth than actually asking for money and having a business and putting yourself out there. So, do I think that this is not in alignment? No, I think this is an alignment. I think your lesson sounds like you have to believe in yourself and you need to create a structure, not just a structure and accountability programs. You need to see yourself in a light that you feel good about, that has opportunity to grow and change as you become more confident. And so there's no shame to saying that I've only had one paying client in 2 years. I think, can I give you just an opinion to start about what I believe going on with you? Or, okay. So,
Absolutely.
you've had this health condition and you've managed to sort of heal a lot, many parts of it, and to go in the opposite direction of a Western diagnosis. And that's very empowering. And you want to share that empowering knowledge and empowering feeling with others so that they know that they don't have to follow the same path that maybe a doctor or the average American thinks when they get a diagnosis like multiple sclerosis or chronic Lyme's disease. So they're not a victim to their circumstance or their condition. They have the power to shift it and to change it. So that feels like what the root of your passion is for your business. What I think you've done, because you're a
Yes.
Virgo, is, and that's all I know about you right now, so that's all I can tell you. Virgos
Hmm.
have this idea of doing things the right way, doing things that look good to others, doing the right and perfect things, following the rules, so to speak, even though in business there are no rules. No one has, you have not signed anything that says, I'm going to I agree to following these rules. Okay. You get to make up your rules. So because of that, you have this idea in your mind about some of the things that you believe are the right way to go about a business. So you get certified and now you're putting yourself out there in alignment, or not in alignment, that's not the right word, in next to, side by side, in conjunction with other coaches that may or may not have had the
Mm.
same life experience that you've had, in terms of, like, I haven't had Lyme's disease, I haven't had multiple sclerosis. So, and I'm a health coach. So you have a very specific amount of knowledge and passion and personal experience with these conditions and overcoming them. But I think you're trying to overgeneralize yourself as a coach, as if you can handle, and if you are as confident in the sciences of all the conditions. So I think you have undermined your own confidence by deciding that you're going to focus on being a health coach. I'm not saying to not be a health coach. Okay. So please hear that I'm not saying, we
Hmm.
may come right back. We may take this whole circle and come right back to where you are. It's the mindset of, and the belief that you're trying to be something that isn't in flow with what you already are good at. And because you're a Virgo, maybe things like the degrees and the certifications, and that's important to you because it means someone has learned something, and you would trust somebody more who has a certification or a degree than someone who doesn't. But when we're looking at what you're in alignment with, I want you to be in alignment with your passion. You have a very specific, your life experience provided you with an education you can't get out of a book or in a class. And so your expertise comes from that experience. So I think that there's an issue with branding. I think that I think you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone of what you're good at, what you feel confident about. I think marketing wise, like there are many levels to having a business. There's your own belief in self-worth, which you said, right? Like that having there's a need for structure, but then there's the belief of your worthiness and the belief that you have something valuable to offer. So if you as a Virgo believe that you need to have more education to be of value, then you either need to do one of two things. You either need to get more education in the areas of the sciences so that you feel more confident, or you need to let go of this idea that you have to have them because your life experience is valuable enough that you could help other people with multiple sclerosis or chronic Lyme's disease do exactly what you've done. Now, the faster path to helping people is to start there, is to say, you know what, I'm not that person. You have, and there's so much because obviously you're talking my language in the field that you're in, but we're talking about everything from your own personal self growth and beliefs and confidence and worthiness to having a business. And when it comes to business, I'm starting another show called Health and Wealth just because I've also started doing business coaching. I've started doing business coaching for people like you who want the mind, body, soul connection in their business. They want it, they understand that it's not just about making money, or it's about being in alignment. It's about not forgoing your health in order to get money. It's about doing what is passionate, what is in alignment, what feeds your soul. So that way you can grow and change with ease in each one of the stages of having your own business. But it's taken me, I've had the podcast now for many years and I've given business advice before, but I've never charged for it because I'm not teaching business. But I have a whole handful of people who are like, but I want to do what you've done. And I know what I've done. So, we all have like the different stages and how we grow and what we think we're worth. I didn't start out charging what I charge now 20 years ago because I was just starting out. And while I knew I had science information, I don't have a degree in first of all, there isn't really a degree in personal training. There is, some colleges offer it, but I don't think they're very good. There are different certifications, but from what I've been creating is something so specific and unique. There isn't a degree for what I do, but I have, through trial and error and 20 years, have come into every year, every iteration of what I'm doing, having the confidence. This show that we're on right now is me stepping into an uncertainty that I had a passion for, but I was afraid. I was afraid to put out a show for spirit, purpose, and energy because, or even dare to claim I'm somehow an expert in law of attraction, because where's that degree? I would never, it wasn't until my first event at Releasing What Weighs You Down that I had 40 people in the room that flew from Hawaii and Rhode Island and Nashville and Tennessee and Connecticut and North Carolina and Canada. I had people fly from all over the country to come in and say, and I said to them, guys, I'm not an expert in law of attraction. And they all said to me, yes, you are. I went, okay, I'll step into that. Right. But it wasn't comfortable for me. So I tell you the story so that you don't think you're going to jump from where you are to some like, oh my God, I'm charging $1,000 an hour right now. Right. There's a progression and a journey that you need to go on that's specific to you and how you utilize your gifts and your talents and your passions to be in alignment with your message. And to, I think without knowing the rest of your chart, my feeling is that your Virgo part of you, part of your lesson is to overcome some of that Virgo part of you, right? Is to appreciate what it provides you, which is that virgin, like want to do the right thing on the up and up all the time. Like you're just an honest person, again, you want to do the right thing. And that's such an awesome quality. Where the shadow side is of Virgo is, again, this sort of idea of perfection that's an illusion. And not being addicted to the story of perfection, or that you have to deliver yourself in a certain way to be in alignment. So going back to, there's this other whole section. So there's a section for you, and then there's the how to apply this. So I'm just gonna read off some of the things I've been writing since you've been talking. One of the most important things I learned in business years ago, like I knew I had value as a speaker because every time I would speak, whether it be for free or paid, I would like attract clients. Because when I'm in person, and I didn't think actually I was good here auditorial, like audio wise without being seen because I had done some telesummits and teleseminars and they never seemed to result in anything for me. And then when I started speaking more in front of people, I would get clients without trying because someone would be in alignment with my energy. And while I have an intensity to me, I've got a lot of fire in me, they could feel my heart. I felt like when they saw me in person. Now, when I'm on stage, I've been performing since I was 3. So when I'm on stage, I'm in alignment. I'm having a good time. I'm letting my creativity flow. And so what I realized at one point is that whether like I couldn't just hold out to do it like paid. I mean, now I do, but there were times where I'm like, you know what? I'll take the $100 a speaking gig, or I'll do it for free for a room full of 50 people or more. Because when I'm there, I'm in alignment. I'm turned on, I'm tapped in, I'm tuned in, I'm turned on, and things happen when I'm in alignment. So I want you to ask yourself, what are the things that bring me joy? And if doing the cooking classes and your workshops at these different places bring you joy, forget if it brings you money. If it brings you joy, I want you to continue doing them for now, whether it be at a cost or at not a cost. Okay. But then there's a structure in business of how to turn that into money, having an offer, asking for the sale. If you get a room full of 5 people, giving them a piece of paper in the beginning, maybe 2 pieces of paper, one that's got information about what you're talking about, what the topic of the conversation, the discussion is, and then another one on the back end about how to work with you one-on-one. So you put your pricing out there, you give them the option at the end of the talk, you just say, go over it and say, this is for anyone that's interested in working with me further. And while you may not get any right away, you may, but if you're not asking for the sale, then you're not, no one, you're waiting for someone else to approach you. They may not even know you do what you do unless you ask for it. Okay. So I
Right.
want you to figure out what is create like this podcast. I love doing the podcast, especially when I'm having awesome conversations like this one with you. When I have something I'm thinking about or something that's going on with me and I can get on the mic and just let it flow, that brings me relief and joy to know that it helps somebody else, but it also helps me. When I'm having a conversation with a guest that's really awesome and amazing, someone who I really want to have on the show, someone whose work I admire and respect, and they've been a teacher for me. Those are all things that bring me joy, and I do them. So it's a very different, not different, but if you're looking at like, what should I be doing? I want you to get rid of the shoulds. My guess is that as a Virgo, you should yourself to death. Okay. So I want you to take out the word should and say, scratch. What do I want to do? What brings me joy? What turns me on? What gets me excited?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Right.
there's definitely a need for you to unearth some of your beliefs and to start really helping your confidence level by tuning into what your strengths already are and how you can best capitalize on that, help other people and help yourself at the same time. Next, looking at things as a test. Oh, so in business, one of the things that I learned probably in the middle was that just like you with your, doing some of your classes, I recommend all entrepreneurs to not go after things as if, I created so many products in the beginning because I was excited about the products and my belief was that everyone needed these. Okay. And there's a very big difference between what I think you need and what you're willing to buy and what you want. Right. So I've spent lots of time making audio programs, writing a workbook, making videos, doing things that I thought people needed because I was working with clients. I could see what they needed. So that made me all excited about making all these products, but I didn't test it first. I want you to go into this business as a test, as a true test of your co-creation with spirit, with source, with universe, and really just test it and see what happens. And then gather information, use your intuition about what you think you can learn from this. If it's something that feels good to you, my podcast, so Fit to Love, was a test. And when I did the 6 days a week and I did 2 seasons and 350 shows, when I got to the end of that, the test for me said, this isn't hitting the way it should be. And I listened to my own shows. I'd get excited about my own damn shows because I loved the conversations I was having, the guests, the information. I mean, Jeannie Peters, I've listened to Jeannie Peters shows multiple times to take all the notes about nutrition, homeopathy, whatever, right? There's so much content. So
Mhm.
I thought, you know what? My show is good. Why is it not taking off the way that it should? And then I got this intuitive hit. Well, you need to rebrand. You need to make them 6 different shows. And so it's all following the impulse of testing. And then you're less attached when it doesn't work. or when it shows you
Mhm.
information to get you to the next level. So start to look at things as a test versus a test of what works, and then you're just exploring, like, well, what's working, what's not working. Podcasting. I think having a podcast for you might be a great way for you to archive your lessons and create some kind of structure of how you healed yourself, and really, again, branding to your audience, which I believe your audience are going to be people with multiple sclerosis and chronic Lyme disease, or one or both of those, and talking to your experience and having it be a little bit of your story, your background, maybe even what happened prior to that that you think led to that, all the different things that you did. Like, I could see you doing a podcast which incorporates both you telling your story to help inspire others, as well as bringing on guest experts that have science-based knowledge. And then you could literally take all of that, transcribe it, and make a book. Okay. And then that could be you could feel confident about having your story in a book form. And it doesn't even have to be a book you sell in the bookstores. You could just do an ebook or an audiobook or a free download as a way to get people on a mailing list. Okay, so those are some ideas there. I have two more. Strategic partners. Again, if you're not feeling confident, but you do really feel strongly about wanting to give more science information, find some strategic partners you can work with. Maybe a nutritionist, or maybe not a nutritionist, but some, maybe like a chiropractor or a trainer or other people with science information, and collaborate and do a group thing together where all three of you or two of you offer your services at the end of this program that you put out. And you can use things like meetup.com, and you can, use your local whatever. But your local whatevers, here's what I'm going to say about your local whatevers. When you cast that wide of a net, and everyone in your area, that is not targeting your specific demographics. That's just saying it's local and convenient for you. But your tribe may
Right.
not live near you. My tribe does not live near me. Okay. My tribe
Right.
is all over the country and all over the world. And that's okay, because that's why I have my live events, and that's why I'm doing the couples retreat, because I want to bring the tribe together. Because that's why I have the 30-day manifestation challenge, to put the tribe online together, so that way people feel connected in some way to other people. So you're doing it locally may be convenient for you, but you may not be hitting anyone in your target market. So it's really being able, when you do meetup.com, at least then you could do some keywords, and you have to create your own account and you'll pay for it, but you can try Meetup allows you to do three different groups under one payment. And so I would utilize signing up for Meetup, and then maybe testing out three different ways to do the same content. Three different, like, you'd call it three different things, and then see what people respond to. See if what they're attracted to in your area. And then you can use the same content in the course or in the lecture that you're doing, but you're just calling it different things to see what people are attracted to. Okay. And then again, use it as a test. And then I think I've already said this, but like, just uncovering your strength. As you grow as a coach, you're going to continue learning, and your confidence is going to increase. Your value and your worth and your self-worth is going to increase. Your time will be more, you'll think of it as, my time is precious. Just like I've moved to, my time is precious. I don't do free consultations. I never have. The only reason we're doing this right now is because I get to utilize it as a show, but I don't offer free consultations because my time is precious, and because I have lots of tools in my tool bag that can help anyone break through anything. And that's very valuable. And someone has to decide they're worthy enough to pay for it. So this is the only way someone can get a free session with me, is to have one of these conversations and be willing to be vulnerable, to put it out there so that other people can hear, what your struggles are, and what I'm going to say about it. And maybe it triggers them to think differently about what they're doing. So, there's a lot here. Now I'm going to pause for a minute and let you come back in, because we're getting down to the end of our time together. And I just want to hear what has hit home for you, or what you feel is accurate.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wrote notes all over this paper, so they're on the bottom to the top. No, it's fantastic. And, I value and appreciate the way your mind works and the way you speak. So it like gets me excited. And I know there's things I need to sort out for myself, because then there was like additional questions as you were saying things. I'm like, oh, part of me wants to say, there's that but part, but like, like 'cause you feel certain things, I'm also aware of the time too, because I feel like I could probably talk to you for like 5 hours because I get excited and then questions come up. Um, but I really love, and I practice this, but not enough, but really asking what are the things that bring me joy. And I tell this to my husband sometimes too when he has issues or conflict. I'm like, well, is it bringing you joy? Like, how do you feel it? So it's funny because I say these things to others, but then like to put it back on myself, and I need to remember this in respect to the business piece. And this also made me realize, the amount of pressure, and I do understand too the truth of the Virgo and that perfectionist part, and the lesson in it, like to appreciate that but also see where I can release that space of not putting that pressure on myself, but have value in how maybe it helps to a certain degree. So I mean, there's a bunch of great stuff. So I mean, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. I feel what a way to kick off the manifestation challenge for the month of June. So that's exciting for me because part of my manifestation goal was to bring more peace to myself, and I think the ability to do that is to also feel supported by other people so we don't feel this immense amount of pressure that we constantly put on ourselves that sometimes create health issues. So it's great. Yes, I have probably like 10 additional questions I want to ask, but in respect to time as well, I mean, I can look at this and value that and see some stuff that I did already know, but now hearing it in a way that you expressed it helps to bring a opportunity for me to kind of shift in how I'm going about it. And so it actually leaves me pretty excited and with new thoughts, and also the collaboration piece, because I know some other beautiful healers that have talked about collaborating before. Um, However, I chose not to because I didn't really value my strengths and minimize myself. So I think in the process of just being okay with what I'm doing it like a test, like you said, a test with, the co-creation involved in that, and then allowing myself opportunity to grow that strength so that I can show up more in collaboration with someone. So, no, awesome. I have notes all over, and I'm just grateful that I had this opportunity with you. So I thank you.
You're welcome. And another tip I want you to model, okay, when in the case of, let's say, you offer free consultations, maybe you feel like a strategy session with somebody would be beneficial for you to practice, right, to build up your confidence.
Hmm.
So what I'm going to do when we're done with this show is I'm going to send you some options of things that if you would like more help, if you would like more time with me, I will give you some options of how you can work with me further for me to help you with all of these things. So, if it's a fit, awesome. If it's not, that's fine too. But you have to ask for it. You have to provide
Right.
somebody with an idea of what you would work with them on and how you would work with them in order for them to understand that maybe they need the guidance or the accountability to make it happen or to really, move the needle a little further. So for you, I'm going to be sending you an email, and I also would encourage you, even if it's not a one-on-one session, that even if when you're doing your group sessions, that you have everybody's email address, everybody's phone number, and you
Mhm.
follow up with them after it's over just to see if there's anything you can help them with. And again, you're offering it. You can let them off the hook and say, but if it's not right for you, I'm offering my guidance. I can help you, and let me know if you're interested. End of story, right? And then you let them decide,
Right.
because even with my podcast, I've added a question onto some of the onto my podcast when people who I've invited on as guests, asking them if they want to sponsor the episode. Now, I wasn't verbally asking everybody, but because I just thought if they wanted to, they'd tell me. But I don't think they knew it was an
Right.
option. And I've gotten so many sales of people sponsoring their episodes just because it's on my form. And they can say no, they don't have to do it. And so many people said yes just because I'm asking. So it's been amazing what happens when you just put it out there. And some people say, well, of course I want help. I get emails through Instagram, through Facebook. I had somebody recently email me through Instagram asking me questions. And I said to her, I can't really answer this without doing a one-on-one session with you. Would you be interested in my starter pack? And she said yes. And she purchased it like 5 minutes later. She just didn't know to ask for that. She wanted my help and she started
Right.
asking the questions, and I couldn't really give her the answers on Instagram, right? So I offered it and
Hmm.
she took it. So that's the balance of you have something you can work people, help people with, and you just have to offer it. And then some people say no and some people say yes. And there you go in how to have a business. And yes, asking for money can be scary, but you'll get better at it the more you start to value your time and see how effective the work that you do is for other people.
Yes. I'm excited.
Okay. Good, good. All right. Okay, so that's going to conclude today's show.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Johanna, so much for being the first person to go through the on-air coaching on the show. Thank you again for subscribing and being a part of my tribe and being in the Manifestation Challenge. And even though this show is not going to air today, the first day of the Manifestation Challenge, and it is too late, by the way, everybody who's listening to this now, to join. The next one is in September. But you can get excited about that. And that's it. So Johanna, I know we'll be crossing
Yes.
paths soon, and I appreciate your willingness to share and to be completely vulnerable, because whether you know it or not, so many people have been touched by your story and your willingness to be open and honest. And you know what? Let's give you a plug. Where can they go to find out more about you and your business?
Well, right now you can email me at primalenlightenment@gmail.com. And that's the best way. I'm also on Facebook, Primal Enlightenment, and Instagram, Primal Enlightenment. And those are my main areas for connection and communication right now.
Do you need a website, my dear?
I had one, and I'm in process of reformatting, and I started doing more word of mouth because my website was taking more time and finances than what I was able to handle. So that is why those are the main areas of contact right now.
Okay, say it one more time where they can find you.
Okay, primalenlightenment@gmail.com. Can shoot me an email. It's a great way to communicate. I'm also on Facebook at Primal Enlightenment and Instagram, Primal_enlightenment.
Okay, so if anyone is interested in working with Johanna, who might have multiple sclerosis or chronic Lyme disease or any other health condition where you have been today inspired to know that she has overcome her diagnosis in ways that most people have not, please reach out to her. And Johanna, thank you again for today's show.
Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you.